Hey everyone, it's Leo Chan, your innovation coach, and today I want to answer a question that came from one of my readers, Ashley Black. I did an Ask Me Anything post, and she asked me the following question. Most organizations say they want innovation, but their systems reward predictability. What have you found actually shifts that tension from talking about innovation to structurally enabling it? Ashley, I love your question, so thank you for asking this. This is a very important question to talk about. Boston Consulting Group in 2024 did a research study, and they found that 83% of companies said that innovation is a top 3 priority, but only 3% were actually ready and equipped to innovate. In other words, innovation is important, but we don't know how to do it, right? That's why there's this gap. And this is a problem that is pervasive throughout organizations, and I've seen this in my own career. And I think what's really important for us to focus on is to shift our attention away from the return on investment of innovation, the ROI, and to shift that from how much money we can make and all that stuff, to shift it from output to input. And input is your people, because people innovate, right? The only way you can innovate is with humans. But we have to focus our attention on the ROP, as I call it, the return on people. So what are you doing to enable or empower your people to think innovatively, to be innovative? What are you teaching them to enable more creativity, to enable curiosity, to collaborate better? All organizations have a L&D department or HR department that handles talent performance or talent management. And what I would love to see is for those departments to start standing up innovation education. And that, I believe, will start to enable more ROP. How do I know this works? Well, I was at Chick-fil-A, and my job was to make innovation better there. And what I believe I needed to do in order to do that was to enable people to be innovative, because Chick-fil-A called everybody innovators, and I loved that theme and that thought. But I'm very practical, and I was like, well, okay, we're calling people innovators, but how are we making them innovators? And I took it upon myself to do that. And I stood up like classes and workshops, sometimes weekly, on different topics like prototyping, idea generation, facilitation, psychological safety, beginner's mindset, the whole kit and caboodle. And I taught people how to be innovative. And that was what actually started to shift the innovation culture, where I started to see that people were talking about innovation, they were enabling it, they were doing it in their roles, they were getting excited about it, they were seeing transformation in their own lives. And that's what the key is. And today, what I do in my business is to teach innovation and creativity to people. I have my own innovation curriculum, 15 different workshops and different components on how to actually be innovative. And that's what is so important, because innovation is this sort of ethereal thing. It's really big, and people don't really know how to break it down. They don't necessarily know what it means. And so we have to put a flag in the ground and say, hey, if innovation is important in our organization, then we need to teach it. We need to empower people. I was in corporate for many, many, many years, and I always had to take different classes on like security awareness and how to talk to your coworkers and all kinds of stuff, right? But I was never taught how to be innovative or creative. That's what we need to shift. We need to focus on the input of innovation and trust that when we do that, the output would take care of itself. So I hope you found this helpful. If you would like to learn innovation, let's hang out. Let's talk some more. That's the point of why I post what I do. I have my own curriculum, so if you want to actually take some of those classes and workshops from me, we can do that. I have a new certification process along with that. I also have 4 LinkedIn learning courses that you can learn innovation from me as well, which is actually based on my innovation curriculum. And those are the ways you can start to learn innovation. So Ashley, I hope you found this helpful, and everyone else. I also hope you've have some insight on focusing on ROP, return on people, instead of ROI. That will shift the narrative, and that will make innovation actually happen in your organization. If you have any more questions for any of you, please ask. I love talking about innovation. I love empowering innovation. It is my jam. So until next time, my friends, please stay innovative, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.